What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another banger. So in today's video, man, I got a interesting topic for you guys. But before we even get into that topic, shout out to my LA Lakers. Now, as you guys can see, I got that hat on because, man, I have to represent because, man, they whooped the Memphis Grizzlies' ass last night. So shout out to them. No disrespect to the Memphis Grizzlies. Great team. But, hey, the Lakers had to get their ass up out of there. But, hey, for today's topic, it's not about the Lakers. It's about the second round playoff series between the Phoenix Suns and also the Denver Nuggets. In this video, I will be breaking down that series and just giving my thoughts on it and just pretty much giving you guys some nuggets on what I feel like will be the make or break for both teams. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so to start off, I did want to just go over the regular season matchups between these teams to see which teams won and which teams lost. Now, you do have to take these with a little grain of salt because, as we know, the Phoenix Suns, they had a lot of big changes during the regular season. They did end up getting Kevin Durant. So, without further ado, let's scroll through these and let's see exactly which teams won and lost. This is the Denver Nuggets regular season schedule, and I will zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that better. So let's scroll through it and let's get into it. So we will be scrolling down until we find the first game. So for the first game, it looks like the Denver Nuggets won. It actually went to OT, so it was a fairly close game, and it was on December 25th. So I believe this was before they got Kevin Durant. So let's scroll down. Let's keep it moving. All right, so their second game against Phoenix was another dub, and this one was a blowout. This was on January 11th, as you guys can see right here. And yeah, it was definitely a blowout. Jokic dominated. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's see if they actually played a game when Kevin Durant was actually there for the team, man. Let's see. Keep scrolling down. All right, we found their last two games against them. Dude, this is tripping. All right, but there we go. So their third game, they actually lost. And this was on March 31st, so this was when Kevin Durant was part of the team. And then they lost again as well. And once again, this was when Kevin Durant was part of the team. Now, both of these games were fairly close, as we can see. So, hey, they were 2 for 2. The Denver Nuggets were 2 for 2. Now, to just actually get into the nitty-gritty on my thoughts on who I feel like will win, and also just the key players and key takeaways that I feel like both teams will need to actually dominate this series. Let's start with the Denver Nuggets. Now, for the Denver Nuggets, I feel like the most important thing is just their depth. This team has a very deep team. They have a lot of players that can, perform very well for their team. Their roster is loaded with talent, with defense, with shooting, as we all know. If Jokic isn't playing too great, they can go small, and they do have a lot of good players. Like I said, man, for their wings, they have a lot of good wings. They have Christian Braun coming off the bench, who is fairly young but still plays great defense. You got Bruce Brown. You got KCP. So their wings, well, not wings, but their guard play is very great, man. It's very great when it comes to defense. Another key matchup I feel like will be the Aaron Gordon Kevin Durant matchup. Can Aaron Gordon slow him down? And if there are any switches, can Michael Porter Jr. slow him down? Now, Michael Porter Jr., he has improved his defense a little bit, and he does have that length. He has a little more length than Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon has a little more athleticism. So I feel like that should definitely be an interesting matchup when it comes to the Kevin Durant guard. Also, they do have Jeff Green, and I know Jeff Green, he has decreased a little bit when it comes to just age. He has slowed down, but he's still a pretty big body, and he still can, possibly slow down Kevin Durant a little bit. Now, another key point that I do want to bring up is also how dominant Nikola Jokic can be against the Phoenix Suns big man. Now, as we know, they do have DeAndre Ayton, but I feel like DeAndre Ayton, he may be a little too small. Same with Bismack Biyombo. Bismack is only 6'8", so we do have to take that into account. So I feel like that will be a key point in this series, just how dominant Nikola Jokic can be in the inside, in the paint. But let's switch over to the Phoenix Suns and talk about them. Now, like I said, I feel like the depth of the Denver Nuggets will actually, cause the Phoenix Suns a problem. But let's keep it real, man. That dynamic duo of Devin Booker and also Kevin Durant is dangerous, man. I don't feel like nobody on the Phoenix Suns, not Phoenix Suns, but I don't feel like nobody on the Denver Nuggets can actually stop that dynamic duo. But I do feel like they can slow them down a little bit. But if Devin Booker and Kevin Durant get hot, I don't feel like no team could possibly beat them. If they're shooting very efficient, shooting over 50% from the field, I don't feel like no other team could really beat the Phoenix Suns. But another thing I do want to notice, how good is DeAndre Ayton going to be? If DeAndre Ayton is playing well, if he's hitting those mid-range shots, I feel like the Phoenix Suns could definitely be a problem. If he's playing well within a pick and roll, actually blowing by Nikola Jokic in the pick and roll, that'll definitely be interesting. But it really just depends on what type of DeAndre Ayton we will see. Will we see a DeAndre Ayton that is, being very active, or are we going to see a DeAndre Ayton who is being lackadaisical? I feel like that's another key point. Chris Paul, let's talk about Chris Paul. That matchup between Chris Paul and Jamal Murray should definitely be interesting. As we know, Chris Paul, he has taken a slight step back, but he's still fairly good, still fairly solid, especially when it comes to defense. And I definitely like to see how well Chris Paul will guard a young, athletic player in Jamal Murray. That should definitely be interesting. But me personally, to be honest, for my thoughts on this game, I got the Denver Nuggets taking it in 6. The reason I say that is because I feel like it's really that depth that the Denver Nuggets have, man. The Phoenix Suns, their roster is very top heavy. They don't really have a bench. The only player that's really solid coming off the bench is my boy Josh Okogie. Other than that, they really are very lackluster when it comes to their bench. They got people like Cameron Payne, Damian Lee, if he's even still on that team. Like, come on, bro. That bench is going to, give them problems when it comes to offense and defense. So, yeah, I definitely feel like when it comes to which team will actually win this series, I got the Denver Nuggets in 6. I feel like they're just a way better balanced team. And then I also feel like Nikola Jokic, he's going to dominate in the paint, man. Bismack Biyombo too small, and I feel like Ayton, he may get into foul trouble. So, hey, with that, if you enjoyed this video, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.